I want to give another tip. This is the new one that you're not thinking about. Gaming. Video gaming, I'm talking. I'm not talking betting. I'm talking video gaming and esports. Right?
Online gaming. This is a new thing where people are packing out Etihad Stadium.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
100%. I'm going to give you a stat right now, which is kind of mind-blowing. It's not on this screen. The movie industry generates about $40 billion per year, right, globally.
Yep.
The music industry generates about $20 billion globally. The video gaming industry is over $100 billion globally, right? That's per year. That was on 2019 numbers, right?
You've got growth rates there.
No, that's just how much revenue's generated out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So there are more gamers in the world than Netflix and Apple devices, right? This and Netflix subscriptions, right? This is a huge, huge area which we just kind of just take for granted. So look, as I said, the movie, and it's big in the movie and the music industry, and it's the world's fastest growing area. You think about what you hear on the news, you hear about these young guys who just won some Fortnite contest, won millions of dollars. Well, that is what's happening. That is exactly where things are going. David Beckham's setting up esports teams. All right, there's new esports teams happening, but that's just the esports side of things. It's actually just the actual video game market, which is just on fire and has been for years, right? Now, I caught up with my niece recently, and I said, because I hadn't seen her because of COVID. She's 10 years old. I said, how are things going during COVID? What were you doing? She said, I was chatting with my friends. I'm like, how were you chatting? She said, well, I meet up on an online game, and my friends meet in certain rooms, and we play games online, and we talk to each other. So they're not just chatting on Facebook or anything like that. They're going into games, and they're talking, communicating through games, and playing against each other. Wow. And that type of thing is what's going on in the current generation of younger people, as well as older people who are used to everything from the Atari right on. Games are big business, right? So we launched an esports and gaming fund, right? ESPO is the code on the ASX. And literally it's giving you targeted exposure to literally video game makers, right? And that includes ones that do esports as well as producing video games. And from that is video game makers for consoles, for like your PlayStations, Xboxes, it's ones that make it for iPhones, right? For your gaming apps as well. So it covers that whole market. And look, it's done really well since we launched it. And I think it's something to think about. This is not what you should put 100% of your portfolio in, but it's something different. It's something you might not have thought much on, and it gives you a way to do it. And this includes, it's a global esports and gaming, so it includes all the ones from around the world.
It is brand new, so it's less than 2 months old. Is that right? Listed on the ASX. Now, in terms of, so you've got 25. When you say 25 stocks, is that 25 stocks that you've chosen, or because this is an ETF, is the largest 25 esports and e-gaming stocks?
It is essentially the largest in the world. So you think of things like Activision, EA Sports, things that you might have heard of if you played games. Then it's those ones that you would have heard of or seen online. It's those major companies. They have to generate 50% of their revenue from gaming activities.
And that's a really interesting thing. It's so expensive to get into this environment because it costs so much money to produce these games.
Yeah.
And to run these games and consoles, and then of course to break in and beat some of the competitors.